Welcome to another episode of the State of the Bulldogs. Sam, Mike, Jim, and Grant. Grant and Mike tonight. Boys, a lot of winners for the Samford Bulldogs this weekend. We won in women's basketball. Men's basketball won their fifth in a row. Baseball won the series against Belmont. Softball went 2-2, but got a couple of wins this weekend. Men's tennis won this weekend. So a lot to celebrate on the President's Day weekend. Not a holiday I normally even realize, but we had it off this year, so I noticed it. It was awesome. But Grant, Mike, let's start with basketball because 5 wins in a row, not what we expected a month ago. Grant, ETSU, let's hear it.
Yeah, coming to the stretch, Sam, you and I talked about, so what would be our record over the stretch at ETSU, Citadel, this 3-game road stretch at Citadel, and then at Mercer. Said, well, 2-1 would be kind of nice, but I think we're kind of trending toward 1-2 with the ETSU coming up.
Yeah.
That's what we expected. Said, no, we didn't expect this. We didn't expect Samford to come out to get up 13 in the first half. They lost the lead, but they still led at halftime, couldn't lead at half. And that's kind of been the reason to their uptick, right? The last 5 games, they're starting fast. They're not coming from behind. You don't have to go to the Western game a month ago where you're down 18, about to get run off your home floor. Basically, you had to claw and fight your way. Jaden Booth saved you. And here, you took it to ETSU. ETSU is a stronger, more physical team. Samford was able to stop that. That Samford won the rebounding battle, and basically it was just pack the paint. ETSU, if you can make threes, then cool, we're going to let you shoot. And ETSU, one guy with Brian Taylor go off. He had like 18 in the first half. He finished with 28, but he held Blake Barkley to just 15 points. But against Samford's end, it's really Dylan Faulkner was the story. He just named SoCon Player of the Week, 24 points, 10 boards. Keaton Norris, 12 rebounds of himself. So Keaton's finding his groove. So yeah, it's limiting. It's getting stops on defense. It's actually coming out to fast starts, which is a big reason why Samford got the win in OT.
Yeah, it was awesome. Mike, what do you think about the game?
Yeah, definitely a little bit of a shocker, even though we had won 4 straight and we've been looking really good, really balanced the last couple games. Yeah, like you said, Grant, really physical team. We've known that about ETSU ever since was it Brooks, right? Came in a couple years ago. Starting lineup, they've got 3 guys that are 6'8". I don't think we have 2 guys on our roster that are 6'8". It's not entirely true, but you know what I'm trying to say. So
Yeah,
definitely more physical team.
We got 2.
Yeah, we got 1 that plays.
6'10".
Definitely more physical
we have
team
3. That's
on the
right.
road.
Caleb.
But I mean, it really came down to the last play of regulation. Zion coming up clutch, playing defense like he does, and then just ran away with it in overtime. So also impressive because we did it last 2 games without Diggy. So down one of our starters who's really coming to form as a true freshman. So all in all, very impressive.
Yeah, I mean, kind of shocking. Grant, you said it when we were talking about this stretch. We kind of chalked up the ETSU game as an L. Like, oh, maybe we'll go 2-1. Maybe we'll beat Citadel and Mercer. Not really counting on ETSU, even though we did go to the wire with them in the first round. But yeah, I mean, winning 5 in a row, going on the road, getting the first win of a tough stretch ahead. Huge for momentum, and for whatever reason, the defense is becoming a strength of this team after it was such a weakness. I mean, we were running through before we started recording the 3-point percentages that either we have held the opponent to or the opponent has graciously shot for us. But only one time was it over 30% over this 5-game win streak. So that helps. If you're not shooting the 3 well, you're going to have a little bit of trouble against a team like ours who shoots it pretty decently. Yeah, beating ETSU on the road didn't have that one in the cards. Zion playing good defense, have that in the cards. But great win.
Yeah, it turns out Samford's last 3 games are their best 3 defensive performances of the season. Go figure, and they're able to beat Mercer by 20, shorthanded Wofford in the ETSU. But Mike mentions the play of Zion basically defensively. He's taken Samford to that next level. One of seeing more. He pitched in 10 points at the big dagger 3 in the corner. But I mean, he was plus 27 when Samford was on the floor. So like,
he was probably that in the Western game as well. I mean, he's the X factor.
Yeah, he's got a deflections. We'll show you here. He's got that steal at the very end of the game to help with ETSU up by 1. Tie game. ETSU with the ball last. I mean, he's here, and he gets ETSU gets a switch they want with Zion, and they get Keaton onto Taylor, and Keaton's looking around like, Zion, like, where's Where's the help going to
He's
come
on
from?
an island.
He's on the island. Is the help going to come? Then Zion spins, Taylor spins, Zion jumps out in front and gets the steal, and Keaton throws it half court to try to win it. But it's those little things
I
defensively
mean, they
that
could have called a
Samford's gotten a
foul.
lot better.
They could have called a foul. It was blocking.
Yeah.
Yeah, Keaton was on his way to being on SportsCenter top 10 for the wrong reasons, and Zion bailed him out.
Yeah, the main problem was that Taylor.
100%.
Yeah, the main problem was that Taylor spun back into the paint. So I know you need just attack Keaton out the bounce, and Zion was able to.
Yeah, never
up.
mind.
A couple deflections.
It wasn't. I take that back. That wasn't blocking.
I
the ETSU guy picked up his dribble.
I definitely think ETSU fans are probably, when we look at the foul count in this game, it was 27-14. ETSU with 27. So I know there's some chatter recently about officiating against Samford and the lack of foul calls. And I think when you look at that that split, ETSU probably like, how does that not get called there? You know,
It's what's ridiculous though, Mike, is we make the joke every time we play ETSU that the whistles get swallowed whenever anyone plays ETSU. So the fact that finally they get penalized for playing too physical of basketball, bummer. You don't play disciplined defense, bummer. Like, sorry, it's not bully ball out here.
Yeah, and those ETSU fans out there, it's like, maybe your guys foul a lot. Maybe that's why you got calling more fouls. And Samford hasn't really had this version of this Samford team in this area hasn't really had that trouble yet. But like even in the overtime period, ETSU didn't score until there was under a minute left. Samford went on 11-0, basically an 11-0 run at the free throw line. They made like 14 of their last like 15 free throws or something like that. So that's another thing that's taken an uptick there too. So I mean, just an added bonus with the defense. Like even in the second half, Samford had a stretch where they didn't score. You get a field goal for 6 minutes. Well, ETSU had a stretch where they didn't score a field goal for 7 minutes. So you're at least getting stops. You're not able to score on the other end.
And it's a tough place to play. I mean, out of the three on this road stretch, this is the only one that comes anywhere close to a tough environment. Now maybe Mercer maybe there's a crowd. I'm not sure. It's a weekday game, probably not a big crowd. Citadel, they get a few more students in there, but I mean that's the other thing that we didn't really mention is the fact that Freedom Hall can get a little rowdy. So good on them for gathering the momentum into overtime and running away with it.
Yeah, even with Samford down 68-65, they get this stop. ETSU missed some free throws down the stretch too, which helped Samford kind of get back into it a little bit. Samford was down 3, and then Jaden Booth hits a 3. In fact, that might have been one of the first 3s they hit in the second half too to help Samford tie it up, and then they got the stop when Zion made that play. But
yeah, that was huge from Jaden.
Do y'all think that they're just starting to play better together, or have we been like what? I mean, what is attributing to this run? Obviously, our defense has picked up because we got to give. I guess we should give some credit to the defense of keeping these guys, all of these opponents, under a certain percentage from 3. But what do y'all think is the main driver behind the success?
It helps when your point guard's playing better too. Keaton's been playing the last couple weeks, getting the team in flow and offense, and teams are having to respect his shot a little bit more. He made 2 threes that were kind of earlier in the game, which kind of got to you. So you just got to space the floor even more, and Keaton's play has been a big reason why.
That's fair.
Yeah, I think he's been there all year in terms of his ability to facilitate the ball and kind of run the offense. But like Grant said, when he's scoring, that just adds a whole other layer to not just his game, but Samford as a whole, just because you have to respect his ability to score. And he couldn't score anything kind of heading into this win streak here. But I also just think like the more well-rounded offense altogether, not just from Keaton, but from Cade. Obviously, Faulkner and Booth are doing what they do, but it seems like Keaton and Cade have been pretty consistent the last couple games.
Mm-hmm.
And then somebody else is going to step up and score 9-10 points a game, whether that's Campbell Finch, Martin, whoever it might be. So that's just something we weren't getting the first kind of half of the season. It was like 2 guys scoring 40, 50 points a game, and then nobody else stepping up. But I'm also
I
think
offense looks much smoother.
It's a sophisticated offense. They're running a lot of sets. It probably takes players like time to get used to. And you got to think. I realize that some other teams are coming in. Some of the teams in SoCon, first year head coach, new players, but like Samford's got a completely new roster. Nobody that played together last year. So everybody coming in last minute trying to learn this offense, try to learn how each other plays. Like, it takes time to figure that out. So, I'm not saying that's like really everything here, because I know Wofford's got a new coach as well, but I just think it takes guys time to figure out how to play together.
Yeah, no, I think there's a lot to that. I mean, it is, like I said, it's looking smoother, so the guys seem to be getting it. It's flowing better. I think it was just like 2 or 3 weeks ago I had mentioned it seems like our feet are flat. Like if you didn't have the ball or weren't immediately setting a screen, it was almost like we're just watching Jaden Booth play basketball.
Yeah,
and that's changed dramatically. And then honestly that flows right into in defense, because if Jaden misses that shot, if I'm just standing there on the 3-point line, now all of a sudden I'm not moving. I got to restart my momentum in transition. And so maybe that plays a little bit too, maybe not.
and I don't think that running the offense through Jaden Booth is really Lenny's style of offense. I mean, I think what Dylan Faulkner's been doing, the Dylan Faulkner, the Dylan Faulkner-Keaton connection, I think is the typical kind of Princeton offense. So you got to have a Jaden Booth who can shoot, but like expecting Jaden to score 20, 30 points a game, I don't think is a typical like Lenny Acuff offense.
No, what it felt like, Mike, was when things would kind of get grinded down, it would just be Jaden Dillon doing like a pick and roll.
Help. Yeah, save us.
That's what basically the offense became. And now we're watching the offense not be that. And Jaden's getting nice open looks from three. As you all said, Keaton's actually making some shots. Dylan's been a stud. And then we're getting even Zion scoring points. Even just the change, like he is incrementally, but it's certainly improved. From the Western game 5 games ago, where he looks like if he gets the ball, he does not want to score, doesn't want to shoot, doesn't want to do anything. Now is a little bit less afraid with the ball in his hands. And just that little bit of difference helps the team. But we still got a long way to go.
Offensive side, him playing 29 minutes has got to give him confidence in all aspects of his game.
Yes.
Like I don't think he ever expected to be a guy that was going to play 29 minutes this year.
No, he's flourished into a key contributor. I mean, we knew, especially at the beginning of the season when we saw how poor we were defensively, we knew he was the key to the defense, him and Dylan. But it's been nice to see him kind of grow in his role with the team.
Did y'all talk last week about injuries? Like what's going on with Campbell Finch, and is Jackson Pollard hurt?
No, we haven't really talked about injuries.
I think Diggy's a hamstring injury, so you probably want to be careful of that, like we talked about Jeff Vince before we started baseball. And then I think with Jackson just falling out of the rotation a little bit, I think that's just what I'm kind of leaning towards with the play of Zion. Shaver gave me whatever minutes, and Dylan hasn't been in foul trouble today against ETSU, so that helped too. But yeah, I think just falling out of the rotation more. But
was Dylan on like a minutes restriction against Wofford, because he only played 15 minutes? It seemed like Will Shaver came in earlier in the game than we would have expected him to.
Yeah, Dylan picked up a couple fouls early, and then he started foul trouble too.
Right there.
Yeah, just look at. Yeah, once a game, Jaden's going to get a 4-point play. Like it's just a matter. Like it doesn't like it happens without fail every time he comes out the pin down bubble. He's like, oh yeah, I'll just pull this and one.
Yep. For those just listening on the podcast, we're basically just replaying half of the Samford ETSU game highlights, and they're awesome. I was gonna say, Will Shaver is such a fun guy to cheer. Like you really want him to succeed, and he certainly has his moments. But even if he hasn't been the player that we thought he might be this season, he's been a fun addition from a pure entertainment perspective. He just plays so hard, even if he's out of position. He just plays hard.
I think he's exceeded my expectations. I'll say that.
Well, I guess I had too high of when I see a transfer from North Carolina. Although I think there's a stop in between.
It was North Carolina to
UAB
to quitting basketball altogether, then to being like a last minute addition. And I was like,
I didn't realize that little part.
That's a glorified walk on, but he's provided valuable minutes for sure.
Yeah,
that would change my expectations.
Yeah, one of the hits that Ariel did, she did sideline for the Wofford game. She talked with Will, and Will's like, yeah, when I got to campus, I was 350 pounds, and we were like, oh, what? He's like, yeah. So that's like
Has John Gross met Will Shaver?
that's like the conditioning aspect of like he's so far away with the game, play like 5 games of UAB, and then there's off the court stuff, and he's just trying to fight his way back. Basically, asked Ryan Donahue, who's a Samford's a video guy who was who did play UAB. They got him on the team and worked it with Lenny, and then got him back conditioning safe. But yeah, just anything you can get from 10 to 12 minutes a game is added bonus.
Yeah, he's turned into one of my favorite players to watch when he's on the court. So that's fun. Zion is still my favorite to watch. But Shaver's quickly. I mean, Dylan and Jaden are the best, but just from a fan perspective. From a who you want to root for kind of guy, you know?
Yeah.
Not the stars. Although Zion's kind of turned it into a star. So we'll see what he can do next season or to finish this season. So let's talk about, so we got Citadel and Mercer up next. Let's see what happened this weekend in the SoCon. How did those teams fare?
While you're looking that up, I went through the tiebreakers today, and I broke my brain going through the system trying
Please
to find
tell me
different
there's
ones.
a scenario where we don't have to play Furman.
Yes, if we just win out and Furman doesn't win out, we'll be the 2 seed. That's the easiest scenario.
If we just win out.
If we just win out, but then
It's not the hardest.
Yeah,
It's actually a fairly easy final 4-game stretch.
yeah, it's doable. Like it's not out of the question. Like you had the game of Mercer, who knows it'd be a different game at third place. 3 seed, it would take me 20 minutes to fight through the 3 seed because there's a website that's bball.nothing.net, and you can go online and go through different scenarios and basically, okay, what if Samford wins this game? Well, then know that they would play the 4-5. So I was just trying to find any way where Samford and Mercer don't play each other, and so Samford kind of has to be the 2 seed unless they go 3-1 against Mercer. With their sketch, Samford go 3-1 with their schedule, but that includes beating Mercer but losing to UNCG because they couldn't be flipped, because if they lost to Mercer, beat UNCG, they'd be the 4 seed. So stuff like that I was going through. So
Yeah,
just gotta
maybe
find
it's
a
a
way.
little too soon to be going through
I
scenarios.
tried to read through
but,
that.
So let's
yesterday, and I was like, it's not worth. I'm not gonna put any kind of mental capacity into this. I'm just gonna wait and see what happens. So I'll forget.
So
Exactly.
here's some recent results to inform your opinion on our chances of winning the next 2 games. So
Complicated.
going back to last Wednesday and our drubbing of the ankle biters, Western beat Citadel 87-49. Western is such a weird team. ETSU beat UTC, shocker, 73-61. Mercer beat Furman 69-64. And UNCG rolled VMI 92-71 on Saturday, following our epic win over ETSU in overtime. Mercer beat Citadel 70-54. Furman, so that's 2 nice wins back to back for Mercer, if anyone's counting at home. Furman over VMI 90-72. Western over UTC in a tight one, 81-76. And UNCG over Wofford in an absolute shootout, 99-89. So on Thursday we have Citadel. Based on the recent games, I think that's a game we win. But based on the recent games, I think we lose. I think the at Mercer game is where our streak most likely would end. They're playing really good basketball, and so are we. But at some point, I mean, we can't just win out. That's not likely, right?
I mean, we beat them by 20.
Granted, they're like, yeah, we're gonna win out.
It's not out of the question. I'm not. If you asked me a couple weeks ago, can Samford win out? Said no, obviously not. But I mean, you get by Citadel. It's the Mercer game because you got 2-0. UNCG's won 4 in a row too. But yeah,
I'm looking
possible.
at Mercer. Mercer looks like the hardest game left out of Citadel,
Yes.
Mercer, VMI, UNCG. Mainly because you have UNCG at home.
Yeah, basically for Samford to avoid Furman, Samford to go 3-1. Furman would have to drop at least 2 games, and that's not out of the question because they host ETSU and they go to Wofford. So, I mean, those are 2 games right there, and then they finish with Western in the year. They play VMI in there, but yeah.
I mean, yeah, Furman could easily go 2-3 over the last 5.
Yeah,
But
Furman doesn't have easy stretch.
so could
UNCG
we.
doesn't have easy stretch. Yeah.
I mean,
Sure.
not the way we're playing right now. I'm not going to say that. Like,
Definitely
the
could
way
go
we're playing right
2-3.
now, I think we go 4-1 out of our next 5 or last 5. Or we have 4 left. We go 3-1 out of our last 4.
Yeah, 3-1's more likely than 4-0, I would say. Still.
2-2 at a very minimum.
But if we get
yeah.
by Mercer, we're rolling. We're rolling to a first round exit in the SoCon because that's how it would happen. Of course, we'd be flying so high and then get knocked off by Western Carolina.
Yeah, if we won
Dude,
out,
there's
this
no
is how the bracket would look if we did that. But yeah, still, let's get through this week, then worry about it next week. But yeah,
How familiar looking of a bracket is that with Furman awaiting in the semifinals?
I know, right?
It's just gross.
I know.
Can they like North Dakota State announced they're moving up? Can Furman move up too? Can they leave? Get out of here.
Yeah, they can go join the MAC or whatever. Yeah.
How wild is it to see UTC though?
Yeah.
What is going on? I mean, we go this summer. They have the rumor headline. You know, they're pumping $5 million whatever dollars into basketball, $20 million total in sports, whatever it was. Flying high, transfer portal class, bangers.
Have they had injury problem this year, Grant?
They did to start the year. I think they're healthy now.
That's what I thought. Like, I thought they started the year kind of injured, but because it was like, okay,
Yeah.
so they struggled in the Jake Stevens year because Jake Stevens was out for the whole year, and then he came back in the tournament and they whooped us. But like, this is just very uncharacteristic of a Dan Earl Chattanooga team to be fully healthy.
Yeah, I think Mulholland was out. Yeah, I think Mulholland was out for a little bit. They've lost 3 in a row. They had to replace, obviously, 2 guards from last year with Huff and Bonham. But I mean, like defensively, they're just not good. That's kind of the problem. But yeah,
I mean, to be fair, the sample size at UTC for Dan Earl is only 4 seasons, including this one. Obviously, they were really good last year, really good the year before that. But then in 22-23, they're 18-17. And then this year they're bad again. I don't know. Maybe if he doesn't have literally the best player in the league, they're not as dynamic as he would like them to be. Which I think if your program fluctuates that much on elite talent, I think that's a coaching problem. Like I think his system isn't built. Whereas I think it's the exact opposite of Furman. I know we've been showing Furman a little more love than usual, but Richie's system takes advantage of the elite talent. They beat Virginia in the NCAA tournament, like in an insane game, right? But they're never dog walk. Like even like this team, there's no one elite on this team other than that freshman, I guess. And yet they could beat anybody any night. You cannot say that about UTC.
I would hope that that's the same with Lenny. I mean, I think that's the reason
I think it is
brought
the same
him
with
in,
Lenny.
you know, and he can do more with less because of the system that he plays.
100%, yeah. Our floor is higher than UTC with Lenny.
I think our not. I mean, this is totally not on the agenda for today, but I think our floor is higher than it was with Bucky because Bucky was also kind of relying on talent, and it's like we saw what happens when you go in the portal and you get guys that maybe don't fit your system or don't pan out like we thought they would, and then all of a sudden you just don't have a team.
It was bad.
So
it was so bad.
I think Richie and Lenny could be a very fun rivalry over the next few years in the SoCon if they can continue to develop those schools.
I think this Wofford coach is similar. I mean, we don't really know much about. I mean, this is his first season in the league. Yeah, I like our position. I like having a higher floor better year over year because inevitably every team is going to have their shot with a stud. Like someone is going to get someone every now and then. And they're going to have a fun year. They're going to go off, whatever. But for the other 4 out of 5 seasons, I'd like to be competitive.
Yeah, Alex Wilkins will be playing for Boston College next year, so we don't have to worry about this. So.
Is it going to be like the New Balance sponsor team over at Boston College, just dropping all the NIL on the hot freshmen?
They might as well. They're so bad over there. Yeah. Yeah, it is. Yeah, interesting to see with Richie was a longtime assistant. Nico Medved, who got the thing started at Furman. Giltner at Wofford was a longtime assistant under Mike Young at Wofford and Virginia Tech, so that too. And then with Richie kind of learned a little bit of how he wanted to build a system from Lenny too. So you got that kind of factor. And so all 3 of those kind of factors all playing in have been a big reason why that Bob has had his success no matter how much money he doesn't want you to believe that he has. And then same with Landy over the course of his career. So yeah.
It's amazing what winning can do. We would not be having this conversation 6 weeks ago. I'll tell you that right now. We would not be having this conversation. But hey, we've won 5 in a row. We're the darlings of the SoCon. Feels good. Feels good right now. It's gonna, we're gonna come back down to earth.
It is funny because
but we're not there yet.
We are still sitting behind where we thought we were going to be preseason, and we lost both of our games to Furman, but this is the perspective we have.
Which also speaks, Mike, to the power of losing. Because think about how bad we thought we were, and now all of a sudden we're like, we're not that bad, guys. See, we're not that bad.
Yeah, we thought we were going to end up eighth in the conference, and now we're looking at, we might finish second in the conference.
Hey, look, that's sports, though. You go back to December, guys, are we going to be playing on Friday? What is every scenario possible where we can avoid Friday?
Yeah, the joke a month ago was like the Chattanooga-Samford Friday night game is going to be lit. That's going to be awesome.
We just need to win ETSU. 4 more games. Win 4 more games with 12 to go. Anyway, let's get to some other sports. Basketball's rolling. Like you said, we have Citadel next on Thursday, and then Mercer on Saturday, both on the road.
I said we go 1-1.
Oh, current standings. We should look at current standings real fast before we totally move on. ETSU is still on top at 11-3. Mercer is 9-5, tied with Wofford at 9-5. And then Furman, UNCG, Samford are all tied for the 4th spot at 8-6. And then Western, and this is kind of your first real line, other than at the top, because ETSU is still 2 games up. Western and Citadel are 2 games back from Samford. UTC is 4-10, and then VMI is at 1-13. So Samford avoids Friday night play with 1 more win. Looks like 1 more win will get us out of the Friday night contention. I think with tiebreakers, depending on who it would be. We don't need to run through that because that would be another insane situation. But Mercer and Citadel up this week. Gonna be some good games. I doubt it, but hopefully we're at 7 wins in a row next time we hop on here. But on the women's side, women's got a win. Surprisingly, we're back in the win column, boys. Beat Mercer handily, 68-48. We're on a 3-game win streak now in women's. Western, UNCG, Mercer, all at home. So we were down on the women's. We're back up on the women's a little bit. I think it's still a top-heavy conference. We go 2 Furman and 2 Wofford this weekend, so a little 2 for South Carolina. I'm going to look up the women's standings.
This means nothing whatsoever, but Samford men beat Mercer 69-49. Samford women beat Mercer 68-48. I thought that was weird. Again, means nothing, but just funny.
So, our 3-game win streak, with 4 wins in conference, our 3-game win streak has kept us out of the bottom 2. So we're now out of the bottom 2, which is good. UTC is atop the conference at 8-2. Furman is tied with Wofford for second at 8-3. ETSU is at 6-4. Mercer's at 5-5. Samford's at 4-6. So we're squarely kind of in the middle of that pack. And then UNCG, Western 3-8 and 0-11. Man, that's a strong. Western is 3-22 on the season. That's tough. That is tough. Yeah,
3 wins.
I kind of feel bad for them. On to baseball, boys. Baseball, we're feeling good. Opening weekend. We still have not done our preview. Don't worry, we've not forgotten about that. We will get to that at some point before. At least we can make this promise before conference play. What'd you say, Mike?
Who are we having on the show, Sam?
We're not going to promise any names. We're having at least Grant on the show for that one. But we took on Belmont, beat the Bruins 2-1. The takeaway for me, Grant, was our offense is as good as advertised. Blashy has picked up where he left off. We have no idea what our freshman pitcher is going to be like because he got a nice, warm welcoming to college baseball. Yeah. So for those who don't know, Michael Fredette, he was kind of he is tapped to be, he needs to get better. Our 2nd or 3rd pitcher this year. He was a stud freshman recruit. Well, he pitched 1 inning, 5 hits, 4 runs. So not the ideal start, but it was his first ever inning of college baseball. So, Michael, welcome to the big league, so to speak. You need to get a little bit better, bud. And then 2nd, Palmer O'Byrne or O'Byrne. I don't know how to say his last name. O'Byrne. Transfer. He did not pitch any better. He comes in right after Michael, pitches 2/3 of an inning, 5 hits, another 4 earned runs. So that game was over before it started. He needs to get better. Otherwise, I think the bullpen is pretty good. Barry, I think he's been handling the closing position well. And yeah, I think baseball for what we thought coming into the season, we're on track. I think the back end of the pitching needs to get a little bit better. And I totally forgot, Grant. Andrew Marble, our other transfer pitcher who is going to be the second or third arm stud, was at that game. He's good, man. He's got a nice mix of striking guys out, weak contact, pop flies. Handled the Belmont lineup. Honestly, he made it look easy.
Yeah, SoCon pitcher of the week, 5 1/3, 1 hit, no earned, 1 walk, 4 Ks. Yeah, he was obviously at the bright spot there. Then you go to the lineup, Luke Boykin, the transfer outfielder from State College of Florida, who same school that O'Barron came from, funny enough. Burns started the outfield all 3 games, ended up going 4 for 12 with 2 bombs and 7 ribbies. So you got that going too, which adds another dimension to the lineup.
We told y'all there's going to be a stud transfer. We didn't know who, but we told y'all there'd be one.
And this was without Jeff Ince. Played the first game, had a hamstring issue. He probably won't play this weekend. He didn't play the next 2 games. But, I mean, Jake Souders had a real good weekend. And Zach Spurrier, you're a transfer from Kentucky back in the pen, too. So another arm that that Tony will work through it. There you go. And try to see what the bullpen looks like when they go to Athens this weekend.
I think we have good pieces. I think if Fredette can find himself and that wasn't really him, we have a really good shot of winning the SoCon because the lineup is nasty. And we're pretty disciplined. There was a couple of innings there in the third Belmont game where we were just swinging. But it's nice to see. That seems to be a hallmark of Coach David's teams is the discipline at the plate. I know we made the joke. Who was our favorite player a couple years ago? Went down to had the weird eligibility thing. Had to go play at Tampa.
Went to Kentucky.
Sorry,
Stephen Klein.
Stephen, yeah.
Because we have the Stephen Klein Award. More walks than strikeouts. That's the secret to our sauce, I think. Also helps to have some stud pitching, but that is TBD. I think we have 1.5. I'm confident that we have 1.5 stud pitchers. We'll see what Marble continues to do. We might have 2 on our hands. And if we do that, boys is the recipe for success right there. But we'll see. We're one series in. We got Bama in the midweek, and then we go to Athens for an awesome series against Georgia. Maybe we can win the first one. That'd be hype. Maybe we can win the second one. Maybe Marble pitches Saturday. That's the game I'm going to be going to. I hope he is. But yeah, any other takeaways from opening weekend of college baseball? There's a lot of games going on.
So many of them. We had the first game was in like Puerto Rico. Like the first term was in Puerto Rico on Friday mornings. Like wow, okay. And then SEC LSU hit bombs over place. I got this one dude. I forgot his name, but he just looks like a fire hydrant. Just hit massive tanks. So LSU's going to be good again. But,
shocker. LSU's
exactly.
good at baseball. Whoa.
Yeah, shocker. Yeah, SEC shocker will be awesome with 12, 13, maybe 14 teams trying to make the tournament. So, yeah.
Do you know who Missouri played? Apparently they scored like 44 runs.
They're a team that will not be playing postseason baseball. They are not good, but they I forgot who it was, but
it had to be like D2, right?
Yeah, well they lost the first game of that series and then they came back and played well, but yeah, they're definitely the 16th team in the conference. Mount St. Mary's, they beat them 34-3 in the last game.
There you go. Yeah, Arkansas, they look like they're destined for another season of disappointment, losing to Oklahoma and TCU. Talk about an overreaction for the first weekend. They probably won't even make Omaha if we're overreacting based on the one series performance. I mean, that team was pretty gassed up coming into the season. They had 20,000 fans show up to Globe Life to watch them lose.
Whoa, that's a lot.
That's gotta hurt.
How many?
Dude, it was a lot of
stadium
people.
Seat?
Probably like 40.
Yeah, half of it's filled up. Yeah,
It's pretty big.
Wait, whose stadium is this?
The Rangers.
Oh, okay.
They were doing one of those
Yeah,
MTEs.
It's like Smithy's
good job.
stadium only does like 6,000.
Oh no. Well, okay. Well, Mississippi State's home stadium holds like 15,000 people.
Yeah, that's a
Or
AAA ballpark. That's not a college ballpark.
17.
Yeah, that's a AAA baseball park.
It's
There.
crazy.
That's insane. Yeah, it's
Did y'all
wild.
know
Yeah,
that
it's crazy.
Jaden Davis transferred to Penn State?
Oh, did not know that from Vandy.
Well, you talk about Stephen Klein. I was like, wait, what's Jaden Davis up to? Because he was at Vandy and now he's
Dang.
at Penn State.
Well, let's just put it this way: he's probably gonna have a fantastic year playing in the Big Ten. Penn State's one of the few baseball programs trying to do anything.
Yeah, playing baseball.
Michigan
in
is the
snow.
only
That
program that
sounds
does
miserable.
anything. No, I guess I always say this, but I'm not including the Pacific teams. Like, to me, they don't count in my mind
Like Stanford.
as Big Ten teams.
Or wait, no, Stanford's not a Big Ten anymore.
UCLA. I mean,
Yeah,
primarily
yeah.
UCLA.
Washington, UCLA.
USC will be back one day, maybe, probably not. And Oregon always thinks they're back, but they never have pitching, so they suck when it comes to the tournament.
Yeah,
And
that's
I'm
why
not sure if
UCLA was picked
Washington's
to win the
any
Big
good.
Ten.
Yeah, UCLA is filthy. If I were a Bruins fan, I would love Big Ten baseball, just mowing people every weekend. Anyway, softball. Softball had a 2-team or 4-team MT. We went 2-2, or maybe 3-team. We beat Lindenwood twice, so somewhat successful because we got a couple of wins. But I would not call it an overly successful weekend. We beat Lindenwood twice, but lost to Belmont in North Alabama. But softball season's begin. We played Georgia in softball as well. We play them on Wednesday in Athens before we head to Starkville for the Bulldog Invitational. We got Belmont again, Delaware State twice, and Mississippi State on Friday afternoon. So softball's got some fun games ahead.
How did Delaware State get invited? That's just I don't know how this happens, but I don't know. It's like okay.
It's the same as Marshall going down to Tallahassee or Iowa,
Yeah, and Samford
Random.
and Stetson are going to Oregon in a couple weeks, so I guess we can't say anything.
Oh,
about
that's
that.
right. That's right. We're going to
Wait,
Oregon.
Stetson in
Yeah.
Sanford?
Oregon Classic. Yeah, Oregon Classic is gonna be Stetson,
I forgot
Samford, and then
about
Idaho
that.
State and Oregon. You got Stetson. I don't know how they can afford it.
Yeah.
Samford, I don't know how they can either. But it's
Hop on a
insane. Yeah, I
plane
think
together.
Megan told us when we interviewed her. She was like, we're going to Oregon. I said, like Oregon? She's like, yeah. I said, oh, wow, okay.
It's pretty high.
you go.
Not taking the bus. I'm guessing.
That reminds me of a super random story, but I was playing like rec league basketball in like the 7th grade, and I was playing like up a level, like so I was like playing with guys that were like a couple years older than me, and I was really nervous because I wasn't gonna be very good, And first game, the coach was like, "Yeah, we got 2 players that aren't gonna be here today. They're playing travel ball out in Portland." And I'm like, "Holy crap! These kids are playing travel ball in Oregon." My dad's like, "Oregon, Portland, Tennessee." It's like, okay.
That's funny. Oh yeah, I would have been like, oh god, this league's insane.
I was about to. Oh my gosh, those parents! What are those parents
Yeah,
doing
what
to
are
those
those
poor
parents
children?
doing? Send their kids to Oregon for rec league basketball. Honestly,
For
though, nowadays
8th grade or whatever.
that wouldn't surprise me.
It would not surprise me. People are crazy.
No matter how dumb. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise you.
Yeah, youth sports has just been completely taken over by all the wrong things. But that's a whole nother discussion for another day. Boys, any other comments? Basketball, baseball, softball. Oh, tennis. I forgot about tennis. Tennis had a match. We actually didn't lose a match. Funny enough, the last 2 we played, we went 4-0 and 7-0 against Southern Miss and Oglethorpe on Sunday, and then lost to Georgia Tech in Atlanta 2-5 on Friday. So yeah, give a little love to the tennis team. We'll keep an eye on those results.
It just means more.
We have Georgia Southern on Saturday, and then UAB next Wednesday on the 25th, before we start conference play. And that but the season's kind of short. We start conference play on March 1st, and the SoCon tournament is April 16th, so just 6 weeks after we begin conference play. It's over. Dang.
But we'll get to a match in April. We got to get to one.
Those
I
are
should have gone to
always
the one in
fun.
Georgia Tech. That was the easiest opportunity, right in my backyard.
Yeah.
All right, boys. Grant, did we miss anything? Mike, did we miss anything?
Nothing pertaining to this season. Sanford and Big South announced a schedule alliance, but that's for next basketball season, obviously.
That's right.
The ASUN one is staying. They're doing ASUN and Big South next year. But, yep, I think that's it.
All right. Stay the Bulldogs out. Hope everybody has a fantastic week.